2 players, 10 teams. Let's get into it. We start off with Trent, the People's Squad. Peoples with a negative break even here. A 51 in his first game off the interchange bench, and we finally get a chance to see him again playing on the edge for the South. And what we're going to see is some decent scores, is the prediction. He had a pretty perfect game, that first one back. First one for him anyway, the 35 in base there with the line break, a tackle break, and 4 offloads to hand with just a couple of missed tackles. So if he can replicate that again, he'll probably end up with a 50. If he plays anything less than that, then we expect anywhere between a 30 and a 50 for him. And whatever you guys think that looks like, we're all guessing at this point. Obviously, he's had a really good average in the underage stuff and the reserve grade stuff. But does that translate to the big leagues? Not always. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But he obviously works hard. He did really well. Obviously on the offensive end as well. So has a little bit of both, which is great. Best thing here is you get someone to cash down for, so you can upgrade elsewhere. Downsides: 2 weeks, 11 and 12. They have a buy in 13. That's a tough one. Potentially we get him for 14 as well. All right, so host is going to be out. The main issue is going to be Cam Murray. So Cam Murray will come back, and it'll either be in 14 or 15, I'd say. And then we lose Trent either to the bench at best and out of the team at worst. So 2-3 weeks is probably what you're going to get out of him. If that's enough for you, go for it. If not, I'd probably just hold off and just cop the... he's going to obviously make a bit of cash, but you can just cop that. Zacky Wolford, it's sticky. We don't know what he's going to do. That's the issue. A lowish break even as well. 41 points last week. Again, 2 try assists, a line break in there. Pretty much the perfect game, apart from the 1 error and the penalty conceded. He even had a turnover tackle. So can he do that again? Will he get those minutes again? Probably not. He got Starling to come off the bench, so he played 28 minutes to start and came back for another 9 and obviously did really well. Can he continue to do that? I think it won't happen. Is he going to stay in the team long term? He could be out of the team this week. Elliott deserves his spot back. He had a few really good games. And I think the role that they were using him in was actually working really well for him and himself. Obviously, getting good minutes through the middle and a little bit at the start. And he hadn't had a line break and stuff in that first game he played there at 9. So, there's a chance that Wolford loses his spot. Obviously, they did win last week, so that might come into calculations for him getting another shot. There is also a chance that he does play in round 13. That could be the obvious uptick there, and a great thing for him, but we don't exactly know. So up to you whether you want to pick Zacky Wolford. All right, here we go. This is gonna be a big. We only got 10 teams here, and we've got a lot of notes on this one. So I thought this would be a good one to start with from Matty Boy in the Discord group there. So this is the JBFA Biceps fan club as well. So welcome to if anyone else wants to get in that fan club, it's a big entry fee, really big, really big. Anyway, I'm just getting fat, to be honest with you, while I'm over here. Plenty of drinks, plenty of food. Thankfully, we're walking a lot. But anyway, Matty loves the content. Thank you. Cash still heading in the right direction. We're up to 12.866 in the squad value. So thanks for doing that. Can you teach everyone how to do this stuff too? It's actually incredible how you've done this. Obviously, a graphic design degree. Anyway, all right. Hold till round 13. Harry Grant. Definitely. Yeah, you can probably always almost hold the way through if you want to. Question here: Why just why he was warming up to go on at 50 minutes? Oh, he's actually warming up too. I didn't see that. That's rough. Surely he's back this week. I've held since round 1 for loops. Old Russell, and he's not back. Damn. Should be back this week. Has a low BE. Yeah, he's not coming back, it looks like. But the issue with Jonesy, mate, is he's going to be on the bench when he does come back. They've got Barnett, they've got Frizz, they've got everything happening there. So I think Jonesy's the man to move on if he can do that. If I plan to trade out in the next couple of weeks, is it better to do it this week before he loses the cash? Yeah, get rid of him now, man. Get rid of Coatsy and Jonesy, I'd say, would be a good option. We'll work that out in a second. Happy with the 4 reserves. Yeah, the 4 reserves are fine. Obviously, Schneider's out. He sent me this before team list. So Schneider's out. I'd probably hold him. And you got Tuolangi also struggling, moving to the bench as well. So Jonesy and Coates are the 2 guys, I'd say. The Vibe, start focusing on the Origin buy period for a few rounds ago, so avoided players like Murray, Ipaps, Cleary to start with. Cost me 1 to 2k rates. We could drop more in the next few rounds. I feel like I need to commit to a plan now. Hope it pays off during the Origin and buy rounds. Yeah, well, Jonesy and Coates aren't going to help you, so they're good. They're 2 good ones to go. And you have 284k in the bank, so you can get a cheaper guy and then get one of those guns you speak about on the right side, which we'll speak about. Aim at 15, 16 playing round 13. Got 12 to 13 so far. Solid. You can trade out Grant, Cleary, and Coates from now till 13. Will leave me 19 trades for round 14 onwards, which is good. allowing 12 to 13 trades to be made during Origin to get a full 17 playing in round 17. Wow. Yeah, so this is a good thing about holding trades. You can really push hard during that section and get heaps of good guys in and make up the ranks. Like he's 4,907. I expect this team to be a lot lower come round 17, round 18, round 19, and heading into the business end of the season. So well done for this side. This side, obviously, not going perfectly at the moment, but it's there's definitely things to improve. And obviously got Elliot in the starting team as well, which is annoying. Aiken will be back, which is good. But yeah, Elliot is not. So a few things to do, and I think definitely the Jones and the Coates. If you can get those two out of your side and get a cheaper guy and a gun, that would be ideal for sure. And then you can plug that Elliot gap, and you can plug the Schneider gap as well. Coates to Tohu, Olukwatu, Robson, TPJ, Manu, Kiri, and Grant to Bubbly. I think Grant, you've just got to hold, man. He'll be fine. I think he'll be definitely fine there. In terms of the other ones, the best option out of them, I think Tohu, you can get rid of him. You can get him in around 12 or 13, I think would be the goal. The other guys to select in there, obviously, I'm thinking Olukwatu, Manu could be solid. Also Robson. I'd even go the Josh Jackson if you've got Jackson. So they're the possible good ones. If you're looking at 15, 16, that would be the way to go. Brought in Jackson and Cotter last week. Lovely. Had to trade out Curran. Yeah. Again, surprised he held this long. I understand why. It was like, trying to get him back for round 13 would be nice. And then trading in Cleary 2 rounds ago gets a 45 out of him that week and a 57 sometimes. Trader paid Haas out. It was interesting. That probably worked out pretty well, to be honest. The trades went so well up to this point. Yeah, bringing Curran in was nice. Bird out for May, great. Jones in was solid. Starling in was solid. And the 9 round 2. Yeah, solid as well. There you go. That's the first team. Thanks for putting all this together. Obviously helps everyone out, just in terms of the thinking as well as to what you guys can do with your squads. And yeah, we can't always get the trades right, but I still think you're in a great position, mate, heading into the buys if you're going to train pretty heavy and leave yourself with that 8, 6, 7, 8 around round 17, 18, and then get that extra 4. I think you'll be pretty solid, man. All right, we move to team number 2. In a second, but it lets us. All right, now we're good. So this is Mr. Kyle Lomas, and congrats, mate, on being a permanent member of the Talking League. You sound great on there, so well done, and the team's going really good. Also, just sitting in the top 1,000 the whole time, around that 500, and now out to 795, but still really good. 19 trades remaining and 62 in the bank. So another Teamless Tuesday shake-up. Was possibly looking at making no trades, but yeah, that's what we say every week. Like, next week I won't trade, and then things happen. So unfortunately, is what it is. Straight swap Leo to People's Squad Bank 96. That seems pretty solid. Tuolangi to Nat Butcher. To be going to leak cash off the bench, or do you think this is a short term only? Well, there's every chance he actually goes into the starting side, so I think it's definitely a hold for a week. That 49 gives him some leeway in terms of his break even, but he hasn't played off the bench yet. So how many minutes is he going to get if he does play off the bench? Would be my thoughts there. These 2 trades leaves me 124 in the bank and sit pretty for a few weeks, hopefully. Yeah, we could do that, man, or you could go. Obviously, Taff did all right last week, so that's helpful. Tui not playing 13 is like, it's like, well, do you just bite the bullet now and get rid of him? Because they're the only 2. It's Tuolangi, or you can go Taff and move him on. You do have the wing fullback cover with Kohler, for example, so I'd go either Taff or Tui would be fine. Up to you. Or you can wait the week on Butcher and hold Tui, but I understand if you want to pull the trigger and try and stick in that top 800 there. Overall, team's looking good. They're the only guys I'd be thinking about moving on anyway. At this point, Elliott should be fine. You've held Fanua Blake the whole time. Thankfully, you got that 50 last week. He's obviously been a bit of a pain the last bunch of weeks. If you had someone a little bit stronger, you would have been that top 500, 400 for sure. But well done to Kyle on all that. All right, Brookvale Brawlers got me 8614 overall rank, 17 trades in the bank, 160k remaining, 70k short to straight swap Talakai to IPAPS. Yeah, it's tough. Or you make another 7k to add to the 160 and go Talakai to Robson. Yeah, I think that's solid, man. If you want Robson, you can go for it. Obviously, he's struggling a little bit in the interchange at the moment with Schneider and Elliott out, and then Tuolangi struggling as well. I really want to continue to hold trades, though. Do I hope for a big game from Talakai and hold him till after 13 and trade him and max to IPAPS plus around 17 playing mid/edge? Well, Talakai doesn't play 13, so that's why I'm thinking about moving him on anyway this week. You can get rid of him in round 13. The other thing is here, you're going to struggle to field a good team this week. Obviously, I'd probably be playing Ilias out of that. Unless Tuolangi starts, I'd be trying not to play him as well. And you could hope that Walters does well, but there's potentially one trade that's needed in there, and it's up to you on that one. You could then upgrade a Talakai and go down from. You could pull the trigger on Schneider if you don't think he's going to get back in the 13. Then you could pull the trigger downwards on him, if I'm being honest, and go upgrade with Talakai if you wanted IPAPs. Up to you though. If you're okay to have, that's what, 2 trades for 2 guys that aren't going to be playing in. You can go Peoples, you go Wolford, who's a potential option of playing. But you've obviously got Schneider and Elliott now. I'd be tempted to not pull the trigger on that one. There are a couple of options there. You could downgrade and upgrade if you wanted to, but the rest of the team looks pretty solid, man. Okay, we'll move to Team Artaz. 4805 is the overall rank, 106 in the bank, and 20 trays. What should my focus be in the coming weeks? Play mainly in my head-to-head comps. Awesome. This is a good one to go over. We should trade out this week. Schneider, Tuolangi, Randall, Thompson, Talakai, and Haas. If you're in head-to-head, you got to hold Haas for sure. Talakai, I think, as a head-to-head guy, I'd be happy to move him on now. For example, Leo Thompson, you can move on as well. If you're thinking head-to-head, I reckon you can make a bit of cash on someone like Peoples in that cheaper bracket if you wanted to do that and upgrade Talakai to IPAPs. Could you get IPAPs from there? If you went down, if you went down on Schneider and then up with Talakai to IPAPs, I think that would be a solid one. What would that get you? 200k. 200k wouldn't get you enough. So you'd have to go for Schneider, I'd say downgrade. That would probably be the option there. Schneider and Talakai would work. Randall and Talakai, up to you on that one. Head-to-head player, I'm just knocking the head on Schneider now and removing him. Been holding back my trades now. Feels like I have a lot to work with the amount of, so struggling at the moment. I'd be holding a Haas, man. And just get one of those cheapies in at the moment, and that's going to make a little bit of cash over the next few weeks. Hopefully Kohler makes a bit over the next few as well, and he can move him on for 350, 370, something like that. But Leo Thompson needs to go fairly soon also, hopefully for a cheapie in round 13. But that's that. Happy with that. Hey, Jamie, love the vids. Thank you very much. 22 trades, 750k. Nice. 750k in the bank. Holy smokes. Who should I play on the bench? Wow. Trindle, Thompson, Schneider, Randall. You need to use that cash, man. I don't know what you're holding it on for unless you're telling me here. Thanks for the help. You're welcome. 2 options for the trades this week. Schneider, anyone in game. Thinking Reynolds unless you suggest someone else. Reynolds is going to be fun. You also have DC and Cleary at the moment, so I wouldn't push for another half, but I understand what your thinking is there. Unless you just someone Trindle to Peoples. Nah, you brought in Trindle. Don't trade him out now. I'd be getting rid of someone like Edric Lee or Leo Thompson to Peoples now. And Schneider upgrade, to be honest, would be a big one. I'd go for one of the big dog middles or edges, if I'm honest. He's sitting there with King, Elliott, Nanai, and Tungo, so I'd be going for an edge or a middle, and there's heaps of those guys I've been speaking of. You can go for Nat Butcher, these types of guys. Clemmer's been cool. Yeah, he could definitely be one. Who thinks more of a trade target between Schneider, Arthurs, Trindle, Thompson? I think for you, man, Schneider and also Thompson are going to be your 2. Obviously, actually, you got no one playing down there. So I'd be playing Kohler, if you can. And or potentially getting a gun wing fullback. You go for Joey Manu, for example, who could fix up your centre and wing fullback. And you can also go up. So you can go up to a gun with Schneider, and you can go up from Arthurs or Edric Lee, probably Arthurs, to a gun wing fullback, the Manu or something like that. Could work. Let me know your thoughts. All right, low on trade. Simbin for Victor. Yeah, last year. Schneider and Elliott trade outs. I think Schneider's more of a trade out than Elliott. Elliott should be back fairly soon, I'd imagine. Every chance he comes in this week. Mid gun, McInnes, Cotter, Tohu. I'd go McInnes this week, if I'm honest with you, and then Cotter, and then Tohu in round 12 or 13. Has Justin and Leo Thompson maxed out? King's a hold. He's playing round. No, he's not playing round 13. King's a hold for the next 2 weeks. Leo is not. Personally, I think Josh, you can play in your starting team. You're starting 17. Leo, you can't. So, but I think Coates is a bigger trade out than any of those guys, if I'm being honest with you. And you could almost go straight to McInnes from Coates, could you not? Yeah, that's my theory. Schneider, Coates, Leo Thompson are the trade out targets over the next few weeks. Jay King in round 13. All right, 4 to go. This team, Harry Goat Grand, 699 the overall rank. Last round trades, Pap to Trebojevic, Schneider to Elliott. Oh, that's tough. 2 tough trades. Sorry, man. Sorry Sorry. Current round 13 players, including everyone, 12. Ideal number 13. Awesome. So you don't have to do too much. I'm moving on Talakai, mate, if you want to do that with him. Elliot not playing. Yes, you're going to need probably at least one good trade here. Talakai to Robson, Jackson, McInnes, Hastings. I'm thinking, personally, that anywhere, like if you want, you're not too worried about a round 13 play currently, you could do that in round 13. You could go the best out of that bunch, I think would probably be Hastings, and then McInnes, and then I'd go flip a coin between Jackson and Robson, depending on what you wanted. You don't really, you've got hooker cover in Cotter, so you can potentially go hooker. In Robson or Jackson would be fine too. Potential targets pre-round 13, Robson, Jackson, Burton, Harris, Walsh, Butcher, and Manu. I think Butcher's going to be a trade in at some point for you, whether that's this week or next week. You can make that decision. Perhaps a great captaincy option. Cleary's just had 2 rough weeks. Up to you on what you want to do with that one. Cleary's had a bunch of good games before that. Perhaps had a few 80s as well. So up to you. Potential targets post-round 13. Yeah, it's cool to have those in there as well. We'll talk about them as we go, but yeah, they're all doing well. Tui potentially, I think he's a hold this week and potentially a sell over the next 2. Definitely, he's not playing 13, so it could be time to go then. And already showed the guns earlier. Thank you for loving the videos and loving the guns. All right, it's ready to go. 2 of us are Strecht. Plans to make 2 trades this week, being moving on Schneider and either Tui or Randall / Elliott for McInnes and Peoples. I think that's fine. I think Randall's you can move on. We don't need him for round 13, so you can move any of them on. I think I would go Randall first as a move on, and Schneider, then Tui and Elliott. Elliott's the last that you should be looking to move on. Yeah, round 13 probably for Tui, maybe next week, depending if he stays on the bench. Elliott will start over Wolford. Sticky's rule late is hard to predict. It's very hard. That's what I'm saying. You just got to hold him. You brought him in for a reason. If he plays, he's going to make heaps of cash and do well, for example. So you've got to hold on to him there. That's the theory of that. Other than that, trades are good. Ranks solid as well. All right, 2 to go. 1-5-20 is the overall rank. We've already used the 2 trades. What have we done? Randall and Schneider to Robson and Butcher this week. Yeah, solid, man. Lock it in. Any other players you think of more of a trade out than Schneider and Randall? No. Team's looking good. Other than that, if I do want to make another trade to bring in someone such as Peoples, is 17 trades fine for after round 13? Yeah, that would be okay. If you were making one more in the next 2 weeks, 12 and 13, that'd be, yeah, sweet as. And team's looking good. I'm hoping for a bounce back from Brown. I like Burton in there. Robson, the Butcher trade-in's good. Grant and Papali'i, great. Yeah, hopefully bounce back from Tamalolo as well. Obviously, things like Arthur's and Moale aren't great, but it'll be fine. Last one, Gustalicious, 28,000 overall rank. Talakai Holder trade in for Hastings. I think I personally would be moving him on just for someone a bit more consistent. We bought him for a run, or if you had him from a while back, you bought him for that run that he was on, and that's ended now. He could come out and do well this week, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Hetherington, a must sell. Yeah, I think so. Not for the sake of it, but I think he's the one to go. And what to do with May and King? Both holds, man. You got issues like Tamara Martin, Moale, Taff, more issues than any of those guys. So Hetherington and Talakai are the guys to move on this week. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That was the Analyzing Teams video. I love doing these. Let me know in the comments what you think of them. Obviously, you get a lot of different perspectives on different teams. Now, there's a few different, a bunch of differences now, and the trades becomes a lot more important. We're looking at someone with 20 trades, 23 trades, 16 trades, and my thinking around what they should do is very different in each of them. And obviously, you're prioritizing fixing big issues in the side, especially with team lists like this. We can see like a few of them like, oh, I didn't want to trade, and then this came up, and I kind of have to now because I've got a crap 17, and that's completely fair. But yeah, you see my thoughts around different teams and trades changes along the way. So you should be learning a fair bit about your side, at least, if not for this year, but for heading into the following years. But if you enjoyed that, subscribe, like, and we'll see you in the next video.